Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extirpation of undesirable beings, odors from another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past has repeated itself?
Watch them and pray.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, those who need to finally take the hint and take a shower, and anyone who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have Nick.
Yeah, you got me. And listen, I'm taking the hint. I'm going to shower soon, all right? Get off my fucking ass about it.
Yeah, and the funny part is I didn't even know you needed to shower. That was just a very arbitrary intro right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tasker and friends. You know what? Let's just change the name of the show to Tasker and Friends. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll tell all you guys something. Look, I'm going to Vegas next weekend for my birthday. Yes, I'm a Cancer, you guys know. So my birthday is this month. It is coming up on Thursday, okay? Going to Vegas, trying to get in the most possible shreds I can, because unfortunately I have to be at a pool. Unfortunate to everybody at the pool, right? Because I'm about as pale as Casper the Ghost. But I'm trying to get shredded.
Yeah, you've been working really hard. Is that why you need the shower, or are you purposefully not showering so that way you could really get into the Vegas vibe of just, grimy and disgusting?
It's a little bit of both, man. Like, I've been working out hard, so I got to shower. But also I need to, like, Vegas pools are they're cesspools for diseases. That's literally what they are. People say, oh no, it's a good time. No, it's not. That's where you get AIDS, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a little worried about that. But look, just to put into perspective, I did like 400 reps of stuff today for time, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Well, and here's the thing is I'm picturing gyms, they have a pretty typical set of people usually. And here you walk in, and I'm sure some butt fuck o'clock in the morning with your mullet, what are those sunglasses that are like the rainbow weird ones?
The Vipers?
Yeah, the Vipers.
Yeah.
You walk in, pull fucking hoist up 400 reps and then leave. Like, what are people supposed to think?
I think that I'm scared, like, not because it's like intimidating, but because they think that I might be mentally handicapped, right? Because I come in there, and so so what I did today was I did 100 cleans, 100 push presses, like shoulder presses with the bar, 100 sumo deadlift, pull things where you so you do the sumo deadlift and then you go into one of these. I did 100 of those, and then 100 front squats. And I thought I was going to shit myself.
If you did, it would make a very interesting story for sure.
So I'm stinky. So I got to shower, man. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Because maybe you did shit. And this is actually, since we are talking about abductions, this is actually a really good idea of, Nick actually did teach me this, of why you should always wear compression shorts. Because be it working out or be it in an alien spaceship, when you inevitably push yourself too far and shit yourself, at least it keeps it all together. So you just gotta, as you said, you just gotta hang in there till you get home.
Yeah, as long as nobody smells it, you're fine.
That's why you keep a fucking fanny pack full of Febreze or some shit.
Dude, that's why I have a Glade plugins in my ass all the time, just plugged in.
Wow, your asshole's actually electric powered.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And also another reason for compression shorts is everybody's going to say, oh, compression shorts are for nerds. Look, one, what Tasker said, if you shit yourself, it kind of keeps it together so you can get your shit together. And two, it keeps your dick from dangling all over the place, right? Because believe it or not, there are minors in the gym. Technically, if my shit's jumping around while I'm jumping around, I could get arrested for that, I think.
Yeah, even worse than then you shit yourself and it's just all over the floor. Your junk's flying all over the place. And now all the minors have seen it, and now you're in jail for 20 years.
Yeah, the whole mess that you just described is like Germany's fetish all in one. So, and I'm trying to avoid that.
Yep, sex offender for life, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. That is, you heard it here, folks. We got all the wisdom you need to make it through your day.
Yeah, that's right. Even if I can't raise my hands over my shoulders right now, but that's my problem. I'll deal with that. But I'm super fucking hyped for today's episode.
Yeah, it's been a hot second since we did some sort of abduction story, and we're on the bit of an alien train again, as we probably should be more often. But hey, you know what? We're a bit ADD.
We have to diversify. We have to
do.
diversify our topics because there's so many cool topics that fall in our umbrella
Very true.
that we have to cover.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just sometimes I laugh because I know in our album artwork, whatever you want to call it, it's just like space, and then people walk in like, what the fuck? Why are we talking about like Civil War and what Dante's Inferno? It's like that's not an alien.
Somebody who comes in as a first time listener is like, what the hell's a Mekele and Mbembe? Why this isn't alien related?
Oh, this is one of them Proud Boy podcasts.
Oh no.
Who knows? I mean, for all I know, maybe they like our show. In which case, hey, donate money and hey,
stop the hate.
That.
Stop the hate.
Stop the hate. Indeed.
When I joke about black people, it's because it's a joke. But when you guys talk about black people, it's offensive.
Well, they say that's half of what soiled the internet. It was a bunch of people, or like a site like 4chan, where it was a bunch of people who got together and it was like, haha, lol, racism, because it's funny and shocking. Until you get people who come in who actually believe that, and then it's now it's no longer a joke, and now they're actually just racist, and now it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's not fun anymore. You guys made racism not fun anymore.
Well, yeah, it was like the rappers when they started bringing in actual gang members. Suddenly it's not fun and la 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 like we're having fun shooting guns. It's no, now actually people are getting killed and robbed and shit because real gangsters are scary.
That's right. No more of that. A hip it. No, it's like my fault. Make sure all y'all kids don't grow. You know what I mean?
That rap is a very eclectic and ever-changing ecosystem.
Yeah, but now it's just trash.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like how we were talking about with country. Sometimes you just hit a point where you're just like, damn it. Or maybe we're just getting old.
Well, I think it's because as time goes on, there's only so many more creative things that could be done, right? Like it's because music has been made since, I don't know, dude, I'm not a scientist. What, since we were cavemen, right?
Probably, yeah.
And since that point, we've made so many genres and so many micro genres. What else can we do without just doing the same thing the dude before us? And especially in contemporary genres like country, like rap. I mean, it's all going to sound the same.
Yeah, and I mean, historically, we do what works. I mean, like when Billie Eilish came out, suddenly everybody wanted to be Billie Eilish, and and rap, it's like trap's the big thing right now, and eventually something else is going to come around that's going to be the next big thing, and so it goes.
And so it goes. Just more disappointing shit after another, but
Yep. Welcome to being a human. Love
it. Tasker, you sound like you're dying today.
I am so fucking hungover right now. If my voice ever sounds milky and clean and deep, it's not. That means I'm not doing well.
It's the opposite of what you guys think.
Yeah, a little behind the scenes, but like I actually had to delay the recording for like 40 minutes because I needed to take a nap because I drank a lot last night.
Yeah, but hey, you're here. You made it.
Yeah. Here I am. I got my Pixar mug full of coffee, and I'm ready to talk about aliens.
Fuck yeah, man! Then let's do it. And I'm like today, it's going to be a fun episode, guys. I've been dying to talk about this dude today. You already saw it, but before we do that, we got to do our horoscopes.
That's true. If we're going to talk about the stars, we got to see what the stars have to say.
I'll go first because you're hungover. I'm going to give you some time to do some deep breathing exercises. Then I'll start.
Just gonna close my eyes through this.
Yes, take a quick nap while I do this. Today, you might feel especially creative and intellectually inspired, Cancer. You could discuss your ideas with others. The process of communication could open up new doors in your mind and result in some fascinating insights concerning whatever you're pursuing. Sometime in the course of your conversations, don't be surprised if you find that one of your friends needs a sympathetic ear.
No, I think I just need a nap.
Good, because if you tried leaning on my shoulder, I'd call you a pussy.
Yeah, that's it. That's how we do it. That's how we hoist each other up, is by the balls.
Tough love, baby.
Yep. Lovely.
Stars, Seem about right. My sex is a 3 out of 5. Vibe is a 2 out of 5. Hustle is a 4 out of 5, and success is a 3 out of 5.
Not bad.
Not bad. Although I will say again, today's matches for friendship is Scorpio again. It happens often.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, unfortunately, I do not have you. But whenever you are on my thing, it's always in the love category. It's just kind of pushing for this homoerotic relationship here.
Hey, it'll happen. I mean, I think there might be people out there shipping for us, man. So eventually on air, we're just going to do something. I don't know.
And there's going to be the day where we just start jerking off. Well, we got to do it while we can, because if we inevitably hit a point where we need to, show the video of us recording, we can't be jerking off without a paywall,
Exactly. That is some top tier Patreon shit. That is going to be like, $100 a month action. Yeah, you can see me jerk Tasker off.
Oh yeah. It'll be amazing. And that's something, it will be worth the money, because Nick and I are showmen. What can I say? We'll make it fun.
I'll make it dance. I'll make it jump. Yeah. I can move each ball at a time, on his own.
You can't get that shit for free. This is years of practice to get to this level.
It's it's what I do with my spare time.
It's a skill. It's an admirable skill indeed. But let me read mine real quick, and we could get this train wreck rolling. So let's see. Moving ahead is the key for today, Scorpio. You should feel optimistic and excited about your goals. You're probably confident that you will reach them and will go well. This positive attitude spills over into your personal relationships. You should be in just the right frame of mind to encourage your friends to go to their own dreams and give whatever assistance they need. Cool.
Hey, man, it's just telling you to be a groovy guy.
Yeah, sure. I could do that. Well, maybe like tomorrow, I'll do that.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's cool. I was gonna ask for a couple $100 to borrow today, but I'll wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, you should definitely wait till. It's not going to happen.
Well, that's fucked, man.
What,
look,
do I look like I have money?
Do I look like I have money? That's why I'm asking you for money.
And actually, funny enough, Nick's actually wearing like a beanie and a jacket, so in a way, he actually does look like he doesn't have money.
Yeah, I look like I just fucking crawled out of the streets of LA.
You actually just broke into the basement of somebody's house and started recording.
I do look homely today. Yeah.
But you did just go to the gym, so that's to be expected.
That's true. That's true. It is my Cannibal Holocaust jacket, which I'm very fond of, though.
That is very true. It is a good stylistic choice indeed. But real quick, so we can get on with it. Sex is a 2 out of 5. Hustle's a 2 out of 5. Both make sense. But weirdly enough, vibe is a 4 out of 5 and success is a 4 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah, which actually, and weird segue, but in a weird way, me and my like kind of half conscious state right now, would that in a sort of way make my third eye more open than it's ever been? Or does that work that way when you're kind of like half conscious?
Yes, because you're putting aside your everyday mundane human wants and desires and thoughts. And now that you are just like kind of zoning out right now, it's just pure consciousness, homie.
See, and these episodes are kind of fun for me to edit because it's like I feel like by the time we're done, I'm like, I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be like listening to just somebody else's podcast.
Yeah, it'll be great. It's fun. Oh, boy.
All right, well, let's get into this shit. I'm pretty excited. So hello and welcome back. It has been a hot minute, like we said, since we've done a straight up abduction episode, and that has to change, people.
That's right. We gotta go back to our grassroots.
That's right. Our first ever episode was an abduction episode, so let's get into it.
Exactly.
So today we will be covering one of the most infamous abduction cases in UFOlogy history. And you saw the title. We are, of course, talking about the abduction of one Whitley Streiber. And I'm 90% sure it's Streiber. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could be Streiber, but I'm pretty sure it's Streiber.
I'm down for Streiber. It feels right.
It does feel right. It sounds cooler too.
I agree.
Not only that, but we are going to take a look at Whitley as a man and the things that he has done in the UFO community since his abduction and the aftermath of said abduction.
Whitley's a man name?
Not usually.
I think it's because I think it sounds like Whitney, and you immediately get that like it sounds more fun. I don't know, but yeah, okay, it's a guy. Didn't know that.
Yeah, but you know what? You're right. It does sound like Whitney. Maybe that's what I thought too.
Yeah, it's a cute name. It's a good name for a dog.
I call him Whit a couple times in the outline. Now that sounds like a woman's name because I know a Whitney and I call them Whit.
Ah,
sure,
So this whole episode's just a roller coaster for you, huh?
Yeah, dude, I don't know what to believe. I'm pretty excited to get into this one. So without further delay, I want you all to go to sleep naked. Get abducted by any alien species. Get a bunch of what I would consider to be sexually intrusive experiments conducted on yourself. And then come back and tell us your story, because we're diving right into this shit.
That's the way to go. And I mean, we're asking the big questions here. How do you consent to an alien? Like,
You don't. I think that's the problem.
Because it's like, if you really wanted it like super bad, you just go on all fours and just be like, yeah.
All right, just put it in there for me real quick.
But they can't understand you, so you just have to like grunt at them and like wiggle your ass or something. And then they just fucking drop you on the earth.
And they're like, get this fucking pervert out of here. It's like, I'm not a pervert. You know why you brought me up here.
See, it ruins the sanctity of the experiment if they want to be sexually like assaulted,
Yeah, exactly. They're like, come on, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah. We can still do it, but now he's like liking it. And that kind of is like half the reason we did it.
Yeah, he's like hard as a fucking rock. All I know is if I got abducted, my pants would look like Stonehenge. I would be fucking so hard.
In multiple areas.
Oh, yeah, there's like a bunch at once. Like I have like an udder down there. There's like multiple.
7 undeveloped wieners around the main one that just kind of that got activated.
Yeah, nobody likes that. I haven't gotten any good feedback on that, so
it's not your best trick. Disgusting.
Yes, I know, it's gross. But I can control them all at will. So like I can have them each do their own thing,
You can even put little LEDs and make it a little light show.
Oh, like, yeah. Oh, if you're on Molly, oh fuck yeah, dude. I'll give you an udder show, no problem.
If I was on some sort of like high-end drug and saw that, I actually think it would just give me a heart attack and I would die.
That's kind of gross to think about, huh?
A little bit.
No, I'm like average at best. All right, so first and foremost, let's get a little bit of background information about the man Whitley Streiber himself. I didn't know this. I knew about him before, but I didn't know this until I looked it up. His first name is actually Louis. So he was born Louis Whitley Streiber. Did I say Streiber before? Streiber.
Streiber. Yes.
And he was born in San Antonio, Texas on June 13th, 1945. That was a good year.
Was it?
It was a good year.
It was after
World War II ended.
Yeah. All right. Actually, so okay. No, you're right.
Yeah, man, that was a good, and also polio, just going bonkers.
Well, it was a good year for America. It was not a good year for Germany.
Yeah. Well, they kind of,
they kind of had it.
They did it to themselves, man.
Yeah, they kind of, yeah.
Now, he was actually, Whitley was actually a well-educated dude, and he studied at University of Texas at Austin, and he also studied at the London School of Film Technique. So he was kind of like all over the place, getting his education. And what's interesting is I don't know what he studied at the University of Texas. Obviously, he studied film at the School of Film Technique in London, but he went into a completely different industry as far as his career goes. He actually got into the advertising industry in New York City and was very successful there.
Jeez.
Like a madman. It's like a John Hamm, you know what I mean?
It's just good old woman beating, cigarette smoking,
bourbon. Yeah. Woo!
I remember we both talked about it. We're like, man, dude, as weird as it sounds, we probably would have thrived in that environment where you just
oh my, aside from the women beating thing, like
aside from that, no, that would be bad. But I think more along the lines of like smoking and like drinking whiskey while at work. I think because obviously we don't do that because that's illegal and bad. But I think back then, I think we would have been all over that.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Schmoozing clients and wearing dapper suits. Oh, dude, we would have been the best, man.
Oh, yeah. Would have been fun. I should finish that show. It was good.
It was a good show. So at this company in New York City, he rose to the position of vice president fairly quickly, too. He was he was grooving. Like, it seems like whatever Whitley did, he did it well and people liked him.
Dude, all I know is the first 20 or 30 years after World War II must have been the fucking best to be living in America at that time, where literally everybody was just rich, and at least by today's standards, like what was it? You could buy a house at like 22 and shit. Like, not that I'm like salty or anything.
Yeah, sure. No, I feel that. Yes, it just seemed like you could actually save money back then and buy things that you needed to buy at a reasonable price. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it was like things were like fair or something.
Yeah, so what a concept, man.
Yep. Yeah.
But in 1997, Whitley decided to quit his nice, cushy, successful life in advertising to change directions completely and pursue a new career in writing. What a pretentious piece of shit, right?
Boomer privilege, man.
Yeah, dude. He's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quit this awesome paying job and just become a writer, a successful writer.
Yep, it's just like fucking rich people, and they like don't finish their $400 steaks. Like, oh, I'm just not really hungry. Like, you fucking kidding me? You know how many people would murder just to even get a day to work with that much per hour?
Exactly, man. But Whitley didn't give a fuck. He wanted to write books and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually wrote a bunch of stuff throughout his career as a writer. His most notable novels were horror novels written early on, specifically The Wolfen from 1978 and The Hunger from 1981. Both of these novels were actually quite popular, and they were popular enough to where they were turned into feature films.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure The Hunger is a movie, right?
Yeah,
Damn.
man. So he
He had
fucking
some impact.
he did, and he, like I'm saying, do something about wit, dude. He just does something, and then I don't know if it was the generation that they lived in or his luck, but he did something and he did it well. He could switch gears whenever he wanted, apparently.
Well, then good on him. It sounds like he knew what he was about and did. Okay, maybe I take back some of the rude remarks I made about him.
No, keep him for now. You'll see.
Okay.
So then as his life went on, he branched out into other genres of writing like fantasy, speculative fiction with social conscience. Of course he would do that because he's a fucking goddamn hippie. He wrote books about like the and this might come up later, by the way. He wrote books about nuclear fallout type stuff, like are we playing God? That kind of bullshit.
I see.
And then thrillers. He also wrote a couple thrillers that were supposed to be okay.
Wow, bit of a renaissance man.
Yeah, dude, he's just a jacking off of all trades, huh?
He's probably great at jacking off too. He probably could do the other trick.
The other trick, man.
Oh man, it's gonna catch on one day.
One day. Now, most of his other work was not as well recognized as The Wolfen and The Hunger. So, like, he kind of struck gold in the beginning and then kind of wrote mediocre shit the rest of his career.
Yeah, that can happen.
He also delved into nonfiction. And as some of you out there, some of you listeners who already know about this dude may know, his first nonfiction book was called Communion, in which he recounts his otherworldly abduction.
Oh. So somewhere in the midst of all of his, jacking off of trades and stuff, he got abducted and wrote a book about it.
Yes. And I actually have a copy of this book. I read it when I was a kid. I don't remember all the details because a lot of it wasn't about the abduction. It was just like shit surrounding it. But the reason I got it as a kid was because the cover is, some of you out there have this book and it's striking. It's like a portrait of an alien that is just in your face, like it catches you. Imagine Kid Nick seeing this book cover and saying, "Oh, I gotta read that." You know what I mean?
I could see that where you just rock hard when you saw it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it's very in your face.
Yeah. So I saw that at a used bookstore and I never looked back.
There you go. That's where it began, huh?
Yep. So now let us get into the night in question when the first abduction took place, and the most prominent. Now, before we get started, just know that in Communion, Whitley never says these things that abducted him were aliens, okay? He purposefully calls them visitors to remain as neutral as possible, because at the time, he didn't know what to think.
Crazy. So he just thought he was just getting kidnapped.
I don't know what he thought, but I think that he's just a pretentious piece of shit and he's full of shit and he just didn't want to call it like he saw it. You know what I mean?
Just kind of pussyfooting around a little bit.
Yeah. Because he's at the beginning, not nowadays, as we'll see, but in the beginning, he seemed like the type of dude who would laugh at somebody if they ever said they were abducted by aliens.
Okay. All right.
Until it happened to him. It could happen to him. It could happen to you.
Makes him a believer.
Now, the date. All right. The date of this abduction is December 26th, 1985. The day after Christmas, right? So it's supposed to be a nice time with your family, you know?
Yep. A day off, as it should be.
And that's Boxing Day in Canada, I believe, for our Canadian friends up there.
Like boxing, like punch boxing, or like, like putting things in boxes?
I don't know. I don't think it's either. I think it's, I don't know. It has some weird lore behind it that seems like it was written from like some kind of fanfic thing. But any of our Canadian friends, let us know what it is, because I'm too lazy to look it up.
I was going to say something about, because I know they put milk in bags. So maybe they, I don't know, put peanut butter in boxes that day.
Yeah, dude. What's up with that, by the way? What the fuck? I saw a YouTube video and somebody had milk in a bag, and at first I thought they were just, mentally deficient. I didn't know, I was like, why'd you put it in a bag?
Yeah.
They sell milk there like that.
Yeah. Could quite literally buy milk in a bag. And yeah, I feel like I'm seeing it like more and more, because it was such a like, it really was a thing on the internet for a while. But yeah, like, it's my overall take on it, so we can move on, is, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, all right, sure. Keep it in a pitcher, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. I just, how do you reseal it? That's so inefficient. Like, you could just get it in a thing and just, twist the thing back on.
I don't think they reseal it either. I think it just kind of stays in the bag in the pitcher.
So what, you just have to have a whole gallon of milk in one sitting?
Canada ain't perfect, man.
They have their flaws like anybody else. Good Lord.
So it's December 26, 1985. The location is upstate New York. Of course, because at this point, he's made a bunch of fucking money, both in advertising and as a writer. So they have this nice family cabin in the woods in Kingston, New York, to be specific. Now, quiz time. What do we know about cabins in the woods, kids? What have we talked about before?
That's where monsters come.
Yeah.
To get you.
That's where you don't want to be ever. Like, there's no point to go in the woods, okay?
If anybody ever offers a cabin in the woods, they're either trying to kill you or they're putting you in a situation where you might be killed.
Yeah. As simple as that, man. Just either read Communion or watch Evil Dead. And there you go.
Yep, seen it. I've seen the movie, and that's already enough. I already know. I'm not getting fucking near him.
Now, because it was the holiday season, Whitley, his wife, and their son were at this cabin having a grand old time and chilling, doing whatever it is that you did back in the 80s. I don't know. I wasn't alive for it. I assume they weren't looking at their phones at this point then, and they were probably actually talking and maybe drinking and eat. I don't know. What did you do in the 80s,
Probably drinking and board games. That sounds about right.
Yeah, and cocaine.
Oh, yes. Before it was really, really slammed down on.
Now, keep in mind that this cabin is in a fairly remote area. So Whitley had gotten a state-of-the-art security system installed because he knows what's up, right? He was a horror writer. So I'm sure his imagination ran wild with shitty things that could happen in an isolated cabin.
Yeah, him more than anyone, I'm sure, is like extra paranoid about everything.
Yes. And there is some paranoia involved here. So when I say remote, this cabin is remote. Like, the road that ran to it at this point had not even been added to any maps or anything. Like, it was out there in the woods.
Good Lord. So he's like eccentric millionaire status right now.
Kind of, yeah. He's just like, oh, I'm going to buy this cabin. Nobody's going to be able to find us. But that's the problem, because it's isolated and you're kind of out there on your own in the shitter. So if things go down, it's up to you to take care of it.
Yep, very true. Yeah, and that is a very important point, because whatever happens out there, nobody's coming to help you, so you better be ready.
Exactly. No, they're not. You're not on the maps. They're not going to be able to find you, buddy.
Yeah. And this is in the 80s. I mean, it's not like, even if you did have a phone, you'd have no signal. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Exactly.
God, I'm so glad I live in the era where we don't have to rely on paper maps anymore.
I know, dude. Oh my God. When I was a kid, it was just on that teetering point of like MapQuest and stuff.
Yeah, same.
My mom still had a Thomas's Guide or whatever that thing was called, that big map book. I was like, dude, how do you read this shit? It looks like a D&D board, you know?
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I was looking at that. I'm like, I have no fucking clue where we are, and I have no idea how to find myself. Like, this is. So when I got old enough to, travel on my own, that was by the time smartphones had already kicked in, and I'm glad I never had to jump that rope.
Me too, man, because I would have been dead somewhere.
Same. Oh yeah, they would have never found me.
So after an evening of what I imagine to be fun, wholesome family time, they all decide to retire for the evening around 11 p.m. At this point, Whitley goes around the house and locks all of the doors and windows. He also turns on and sets the security system, and his wife and himself go to their bedroom to sleep. Now, it should be mentioned at this point that Whit is like we've probably guessed at this point, a bit paranoid about someone being in his house while they were all asleep. Like, it was kind of a big fear of his, especially at the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair fear. That's not a great experience, I'm sure.
Like, so I guess what happened was they were at this cabin for a couple months leading up to Christmas. Kind of like as a big, like it's like a second home kind of a thing, right? Their main home was in the city of New York, but upstate they had this cabin, and they're like, hey, let's just spend like October through Christmas at the cabin. Yeah. And I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about how the change from going to like New York City, where you don't ever like, yeah, there's a bunch of assholes and weirdos around you, but you're still not alone. Like, there's people all over the place.
Right.
But that change going to like this remote cabin for a few months kind of got to him, and he felt like there was something off.
I see. Yeah, that would do it. Because, I mean, New York is loud. And then suddenly, when you're out in the woods, that is insanely quiet. And there is something really off-putting about being in a very busy place and then having it suddenly just be silent.
Yeah, like the Elmo at Times Square, he's not masturbating anymore, and fucking the Buzz Lightyear's not looking up people's dresses. Yeah, dude, it's a weird. Yeah,
the homeless guy's and taking a shit in the corner, like on the sidewalk.
The subway doesn't smell like fresh urine.
It's a different lifestyle. That'll throw anyone out of whack.
So, that being said, this paranoia he had at the cabin, getting up in the middle of the night to recheck that all the doors and windows were locked and to recheck that the security system was in place, again, like a second time, was not out of character for him. It was weird, but he was known to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt like something was wrong, that he had to be this paranoid while out in the cabin, right? But during his sleep that night, December 26th, a few hours after going to bed, he's awoken by a strange noise. And he describes the noise that he heard as a whooshing sound. Initially, he thinks that it might be a burglar or something that got into the house and somehow had not set off the security system. But he knows that his security system is top of the line. So he thinks, okay, it's a whooshing sound. Is it the dishwasher? What is it?
Yeah.
So as he wakes up, he's kind of like getting his bearings straight, if you will. He becomes aware of something just not feeling right? He feels a presence in the room.
Yeah. By the way, whenever something goes bump in the night, 9 times out of 10, it's just the fridge making ice.
Yeah, but that fridge makes some dumb noises, man.
Oh, it literally sounds like somebody like jumping on your roof and shit. Like it's no good. But yeah, it is nice to know that like I'm good and secure. I'm just worried about the day when somebody breaks in and the sound of them breaking in sounds more like a fridge making ice than a fridge making ice.
Right, but 1 out of 10 times that's somebody on your roof, homie.
True. It's not a great thought to walk away from this with. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just here to help, So Whitley, he feels a presence in the room. He feels like something's off. So he sits up because he's going to go investigate. but he sees something in his bedroom that scares the ever-living shit out of him. It's a little creature, and as he describes it, honestly, to me, I'll just tell you what it is. It's a short gray. That's pretty much what he describes. It's a gray alien.
Oh, it's kind of adorable.
Kind of adorable, right? They don't seem too menacing. Yeah, I mean, okay, I say that now, but if I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a gray next to my bed, I might pass out.
If it looked like the drawing on his book cover, where it's like, yeah, they're a little small and stuff, but there's something really like off-putting about them. Like, yeah, that'd be actually terrifying.
Yeah, big head, those big black eyes. Ugh,
yeah,
gross.
Just staring.
And that is the last thing that he remembered, seeing this quote-unquote visitor in his bedroom, watching him sleep until he woke up. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank my mom first and foremost, for the support
really
she's
supportive.
given us. And Kiwi, he's kind of dead weight, but I'll appreciate it anyway. Tasker, I couldn't have done this without you.
Thank you. Yeah, likewise. I'm excited that I can go to bed finally.
Good. Yeah, good. All right, I'm just fucking with you guys. Let's move on. So,
I did get excited. I was like, "Oh, really? We're done?
Oh, we're done? Oh, yeah. I can go back to
bed." See, everybody listening, I am doing this for you guys. I'm sacrificing for my art today.
Nah, we'll continue. It gets better because we haven't even gotten to the anal yet.
Oh, this is an anal episode. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice little surprise I didn't know about.
Woo. All right. So next thing. So that's the last thing he remembers. The next thing he remembers is that after this like initial encounter in the bedroom, he wakes up sitting in the woods because his cabin's like way out in the woods. So he's sitting in the woods that's surrounding his cabin, maybe, I don't know, about half a mile out. So he just kind of wakes up in the woods. Like, what the fuck, Yeah. He had no clue what time it was, no idea how he got there, and he didn't remember anything after he saw the creature in his bedroom until now. But as even now, Tasker, this is a extremely common occurrence when it comes to extraterrestrial abduction. Missing time and ending up in a place you definitely were not before with no memory of how you got there. That's a staple of abductions.
Yeah, and that doesn't even have to be an extraterrestrial abduction. That she just got kidnapped or some shit. Or
you just Bill Cosby, man. You just got a fucking Ruhypnol,
When you accept Cardi B's drinks, it's just it's over.
Yeah, dude. Fucking never forget. I refuse to let her live that down. It is it is sexist that fucking Cosby's getting put away for it. Well, then again, he did rape people, but still.
Right.
Well, she still drugged and robbed people.
Yeah, she stole their shit. Like, that's a major crime.
And we're gonna give her Grammys. We're just gonna keep watching her fucking dumb music videos,
praising her, even being like, "Well, yeah, because she did what needed to be done." It's like,
Okay, well, if I said that about Cosby, I'd have a bunch of people up my ass.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you'd have the pitchforks and everything every single night for at least a week.
Yeah, but Cardi B can do it because she's a badass bitch and she don't need no man except for when she does and she drugs him and robs from him.
She don't need no man until she needs money.
Yeah. Anyway, fuck that. I'll never let her live that down.
That's good. That's good. Never forget.
Never forget.
Is that what we're
reminds
like?
Me of 9/11.
Oh my god! Or you were on that like really hard. Or that was the Never Baguette one. That was bad.
Never Baguette 13/11, baby. Never Baguette.
So awful. And in a weird way, now that it's been long enough, what started off as just like a really just like poor taste joke is actually in a weird way. I mean, I forgot about it until we brought it up right now. So in a weird way, it's actually doing good. It's doing good service.
People thought Nick was just an asshole when he said it the day after. But that's it. Now I'm just keeping it alive.
Yep, all your jokes are like wine, man. At first, they're like really sour and distasteful, but after about a year or two, it's like, oh damn, this is quite complex.
You know what? Thanks, man. That's probably one of the best compliments I've ever gotten.
I mean, hey, I've seen it firsthand. I've witnessed it.
But anyway, for the life of him, Whitley could not remember anything, and it drove him and his family crazy because during this time, he felt agitated, he felt irritated, he felt like something was off, and he was in that interview I watched with him. He admitted to definitely kind of taking it out on his family. He was kind of an asshole, and he was very short with them. You know, I don't know, man. He was just kind of being a dick. So, like, his family was dealing with this too. After a while of speculation to no avail, trying to figure out what in the hell happened, he decided to do what any smart man or woman, yes, I'm inclusive, should
even
after what I said about Cardi B. Yes.
Yeah, good job.
Not all women do that.
Right.
Just like not all men rape.
True.
But some do.
Not all people. Yeah, it's like not everybody's a criminal, but like, you know, doesn't mean. And now it's sad because we did live in a time where we actually did used to trust people a lot, and now it's like, you know, you don't know who's gonna fucking, you know, steal your dog and stab you in the chest in your sleep.
Yep. Yeah, it's a sad time, man. Oh, dude. Oh, that reminds me. Quick story, man. You're gonna love this. So I was I was at Target yesterday, and I left because I left the bag of something I was going to return in the car. So I left just temporarily to go grab it. There was a lady outside. She's like, "Oh, sir, excuse me," and I'm not the most approachable guy, right? Like I look kind of like I'm up to something most of the time.
True.
But she approached me and was like, she had like her basket with her shit that she bought, and she's like, oh, she gave me some story, and I don't remember what she said exactly, but it's something about her husband with a broken down car at a gas station that's like 5 minutes away. Can I get a ride to the gas station? Right.
So in what way did you tell her to fuck off?
Well, I was nice. Okay, now here's the problem is, yes, I profiled, okay?
Yeah.
But in an opposite direction, because you think that I'd be like, oh, she looks sketchy. I'm going to say no. She was like this like white, middle-aged, blonde mother, like clear, like kind of a MILF.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, she had her phone out trying to call somebody. So I was like, okay, she's probably telling me the truth. Or she'll Cardi B me once we get in the car, you know?
She's like, oh, thank you so much. Here, like I have a bottle of water if you'd like, or oh, here, I have some leftover orange juice.
You want a slice of pie that I made?
As soon as you take the sip and your vision starts to blur, you just turn. She's just like,
takes her wig off. It's a dude.
Yeah, it's fucking Bill Cosby. I heard what you said about me on your show.
Oh, I'm out of prison now, you see?
I love your podcast.
So I felt bad though, because like she did kind of look like she was kind of panicked.
Yeah.
I physically couldn't take her because I had some shit to take care of. I was like, sorry, but I was like, why me though? Like, why would you like, you know, Tasher, like if you were like a middle-aged blonde, like, you know, like a kind of a hot mom or whatever, would you stop me and ask me for a ride? Like, would you trust me to like take you somewhere safely? Like just by profiling me, like, you know, I'm a good dude, but like just by looking at me, like with my fucking Richard Ramirez shirt and like,
I was about to say, if you're wearing that, what you're wearing, which is a tarot card of Richard Ramirez, the serial killer, his hand is covered in blood. Yeah, okay. If you were doing that, I'd be like, oh shit, like no, this is not it. But like, it depends, because in a weird way, maybe you were the least sketchy person in the whole place, because there could be some weirdos out there. Because at the very least, you're at least well kempt. So maybe that's why she was like, yes, sketchy, but would you rather get the sketchy guy that's well kempt or the sketchy guy who looks like he just finished murdering 3 girls?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So
I did tell her no. I was like, sorry, I'm actually just going out to get something out of my car. But when I came back, she was gone. So either she was fucking trolling and she's trying to murder me and she moved on to like a new target, or somebody actually helped her out. So I don't know.
True. Or she was bait. Because don't they do that with like, they'll get like a woman who's attractive and they're like, oh, I need something. And then there's 3 dudes in there waiting with knives and shit.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
You might have just saved your own ass.
Well, goddamn. Good thing I had a gun on me.
Yeah. It's funny though, too. It's like they use like, because normally they would use like younger women, but I guess Nowadays, it's the MILFs is the way to go.
Yeah, she's aight, man.
Yeah, almost had you.
Yeah.
Well enough to almost kill you, apparently. So.
Anyway, so I thought you guys would get a kick out of that story when we're talking about profiling and drugging and shit. Not that I was going to do anything to her, all right?
No,
I was worried she was going to do something to me.
What a world we live in, huh?
So, like we were saying, he could not figure out what the hell was going on. He was getting fed up. Family was getting fed up with him. So he decided to seek out hypnotic regression therapy, which is a good move.
Yeah, we see this a lot with abductions and stuff like that, especially where you can't remember shit.
Exactly. It is. People call it bullshit. It is a real way to uncover repressed memories.
Good stuff.
So eventually, he found one Dr. Donald F. Klein, an expert in hypnosis, and hired him to do hypnosis sessions with him. And the sessions were actually quite successful. And with the help of Dr. Klein, Whitley was able to start piecing together events and fragments of memories that took place that night on December 26th, 1985.
Wow.
And here are the events that took place that night. And this, yes, we are going to be talking about anal. All right. So I know all y'all excited about that. I'm fucking excited about it.
Yeah, we did the foreplay earlier in the episode, talking about Nick's prowess underneath the sheets. So this is a good lead-in.
That's right, man. That's right. So once Whitley saw the creature in his bedroom, a paralyzing feeling came over him, and he was no longer able to move. He described it as... So I don't want to say that paralyzing is just the best way to put it, but he described it as all he felt was his core self, but nothing else was there. Like he couldn't make any thoughts about like, oh, I should move my arm and try and get out of this, or I should try and figure out what the fuck that creature is in my room. Like it was just himself. Like, and so I don't know if he was technically paralyzed, but he was just kind of vibing in his core consciousness and didn't decide to move.
Yeah. Kind of like sleep paralysis.
Like sleep paralysis, dude. And that's something that we might talk about later.
Oh, we did an episode on sleep paralysis, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah. Didn't we?
I think we did. I just completely forgot that we did. As soon as you brought that up, I'm like, we should do an episode. Oh, wait. Oh, man. It's like, what was it? Was it like Aerosmith or I think it was the Rolling Stones, where like there was like a song playing and the lead guy's like, oh man, like that's a really neat riff. Like we should use something. And they're like, that's our song, dumbass. Like we're having that moment right now.
Yes. I think we did it in October.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. Yeah, that's right. Because remember, I actually did like the science research on it. You didn't want to.
That's right. I never want to.
Yep. Oh boy.
So yeah, it was like this really strange sensation of him just kind of being in himself. So he was then lifted into the air. He started levitating, and he went out of his window, which was 100% locked and closed, by the way, when he went to bed. So he was lifted out of the window and getting closer and closer to what looked to be a massive bright light outside the cabin. And the bright light was, of course, in fact, some sort of spaceship owned by the visitors, and he was taken aboard. And he described the feeling of flying up through the light into the ship as going up a really fast elevator, but he couldn't move, so we just kind of laid there and took it, right? But like, and that's not the only time this happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there it is.
but oh my god! But he imagine an elevator fucking breaks and then just shoots up fast. Like that's what he felt like. He felt like his stomach was like underneath him and shit.
Yeah. So not great. Not a super fun time.
No. He wouldn't write home about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's it's being forced onto Superman at Magic Mountain.
Exactly, dude. Fuck that. Who willingly goes on those rides?
Yeah, without something to prove,
Yeah. So once on the ship, he tried to get a grip on his fucking reality and looked around, surveying his surroundings. He finally kind of snapped out of that weird I would say, I guess, paralytic trance he was in, and started actually being able to observe everything and take in what's happening.
Okay, so sleep paralysis broke, basically.
Yeah. So he saw multiple, while he was being carried to this room, which we will soon find out is an examination room, he saw multiple types of distinctive looking creatures. Again, these are aliens. He just doesn't say they are, but I'm filling in the blanks for you guys. They were fucking aliens, okay?
We all know what really happened.
Yeah, we all know the truth. All right, that's why we're here, is for the truth.
Exactly.
Now, these creatures were all moving around, all quick, hustling, as if they're trying to get something done, right? And one of these beings seemed to be, so here's how he describes some of them. So one of them seems to be a short little robotic android type looking thing. Another one was a short and stocky humanoid, right? Like a dwarf or a midget. Can you still say
Whatever.
midget?
I think it depends on the person.
Do we have any midgets who listen to our show? Let us know. And let me know what you prefer. Do you want to be called Gimli? Do you want to be called, fucking the Keebler elf? What do you want to be called, buddy? I'll call you whatever you want.
I do hear it vary. Some like little people, some like dwarf, some it's situational. Or it also depends on how good of a sense of humor they have.
That's true. They better have a good sense of humor if they listen to this show, because I will continue with the names.
Oh yeah, and continuing our list of trying to offend or poke out something inappropriate about every single type of person that exists.
Right. And I think
goal.
we're doing a service technically, because you always hear that people with disabilities or people who are born different, they don't want to be treated differently, right?
Yeah. Well, there was like a whole thing about when, because you know how now you can get things to fix like deafness or even blindness to a degree. Apparently, there's a lot of people who are like handicapped like that are like, fuck no, I'm not going to get that because my identity is being like the fact I was deaf and made it work. And it's like, no, this makes me like, apparently it's a really big movement.
Look, man, I'm not blind or deaf. Okay. So I don't really have much say in this, but if I were blind, I would kind of like to have my sight back. And
there's a way out.
But I don't know any different. I've never been blind, so I could be completely wrong. And I probably am, and I'm just ignorant. But I'm just saying, I like to see.
Yeah, it would just be weird to like just not have this sense and then suddenly like you have it. So it's like all these little things it's like you can think of it this way. If it's like you've practiced your whole life to be amazing at navigating without sight, and then one day it's like, oh hey, guess what? None of that matters anymore. They're kind of like, what the fuck?
That's true.
So I could see that. Anyways, completely unrelated.
Yeah. Braille's dumb anyway. Why would you even want to read bumps? You can't.
The only Braille I know was Pokemon in order to get like Regirock, Registeel, and all them.
Oh, yeah.
You need a Braille, yeah.
I mean, I don't play Pokemon. It's for fucking nerds.
Hey, man, it's okay to admit you played Pokemon as a kid. We all did.
As a kid, yes. And as an adult, I just read the sexual fanfic.
Oh, yeah. We've seen that and heard it in length.
God, so hot.
Still can't hear the word master at all anymore without the context.
Master.
Dude, I'm fucking so not okay. I think I lost the ability to have an erection for at least 2 days.
Pika Pika Master. Oh, yeah.
Fucking awful. The worst was the fucking ice cream one. Was there the ice cream one? Was that one in there?
Yeah, it was the whipped cream. Yeah, I forgot the name. But man, dude, she's
fucking
thick.
Awful. Quite thick, but not in a great way. Anyways, can we please talk about something else?
Okay, all right. Well, then let's move on from the Pokemon smut and talk about the final creature that he saw. And he described it as being tall, thin, and frail looking with big black slanted eyes. Yes, slanted eyes. So it was either a really old, tall Asian man, or, in my opinion, it sounds a lot like a tall white extraterrestrial.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless he just got kidnapped by the weirdest fucking troop of people to exist. I'd almost believe. I think it's almost more believable that it was aliens at this point.
Yeah, either that or it was just a bunch of Carnival freaks who decided to abduct him, and they have like a robot helper.
And they sexually assaulted him.
Yes, they did.
Which it does sound in character for what a group of clown escapees would probably do.
Yeah, like that movie Freaks.
Never saw it.
Oh, good movie, man. There's guys with no legs and ladies with beards. What more do you want, you know?
Oh, is that the one where they use actual like circus freak types?
Yeah.
Interesting.
While on board the ship, Whitley underwent different, I will call them medical procedures. Okay.
Saying that quite liberally.
Yes, that's just a general term, an umbrella term I will give to what we expect to see in these abduction cases. The first of the procedures involved placing a long needle, which they presented to him in a box, by the way. So he was sitting in this examination room. They walk up to him with like a lightsaber box, right? Like you're expecting to open it and like take out the lightsaber, like you're being given a gift.
Yeah.
But they just open it up and show him, and it's just a big ass needle. And they're like, we're putting this in your head. That they told him that. And he's like, no.
It went from, oh, this might be the best day of my life to, oh no, I am being experimented on.
I was like really hoping it would be a lightsaber, but no, they straight up opened it, showed him, was like, yo, this is going in your head. He's like, come on.
Yeah.
And so they did. They took the needle out. They put it into his forehead, and it went all the way through his skull into his brain, into the frontal lobe. I don't know why they did it. And he doesn't know why either, of course. But if I may take the liberty of explaining what I think they were doing with the needle, I personally believe that they were trying to, or were putting an implant into his brain.
That makes sense. I was going to say, too, at the very least, your brain doesn't have any, you can't feel things. So when things poke your brain, you don't feel it at all. So at least there's that.
Ugh. That's okay. That's at least good to know. But I think it's the inches of skull that they went through that is worrying me.
No, that you definitely will feel at length.
Oh, that sucks.
No good.
But like we all know, implants are really big as far as the aftermath of abductions. So I think that maybe they were putting an implant in his brain.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Or they're just either that, or it was like you said, the front.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess there's not really a whole lot of stuff you can do. Either they were like, or maybe that's how they got rid of his memories. Was I don't know if that's the part of the brain that would do it, but maybe they were pulling out that little teeny bit so that way he doesn't remember any of that.
True. I did not think about that, and I'm not sure either. But if that is where we can store memories, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Who knows?
So the next procedure. Now this is this is the different one. So just to put into perspective, the aliens had to get him into a new position for this next procedure. Okay, now that's a hint as to where this is going.
Oh boy.
So initially in this examination room, Whitley was sitting on a chair of sorts when they put the needle into his head. And for this next procedure, they kind of just bent him over.
Good old doggy style, huh?
Yeah, they just kind of was like, hey man, grab your fucking ankles, because
bite the pillow,
grab your ankles and give a Hail Mary, because this shit's going deep. That was a football joke. Did you like that?
That was a good one.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I don't even play football. I don't even know what a football is.
Nah. He's still stuck between football and soccer and the interchangeability, huh?
Yeah. I keep trying to watch football. It's just a bunch of twinks running around on a field in Brazil for like 3 hours. Nothing happened. I was like, what is this? Oh, it's soccer. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. Although it was because what was it? Italy beat England in like that big recent tournament, and it's a big deal for a lot of people out there.
Man, I wish I could give a shit. I wish I could care anything. I don't even care about American sports, let alone whatever the fuck's going on over in soccer in soccer land. Yeah. So.
AKA the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Whatever, man. It's a dumb sport and whatever.
Sure. So anyways, let's go back to the guy being butt fucked.
Yes. So now they took an object that looked like surgical tubing, like a lot of it, like a long surgical tubing hose with like a metal spigot at the end of it. Like it kind of looked like those really old hose nozzles that was like long and made of brass. Kind of looked like that. And they just shoved it up his ass. Yeah, they bent him over and put the whole thing up there. I think it was quite long too.
Yeah.
So
he did get his lightsaber. It's just it didn't light up, and it was a terrible experience.
Yes, the Force was with him, if you know what I mean.
The Force was in him, indeed.
Yes. So it went right up his butt. He was screaming the whole time, rightfully so. He's just like, "Oh my god, my fucking ass!" Right? Because they didn't buy him dinner first. They didn't lube him up. They kind of just went in there with it, dude.
Oh, didn't even lube, huh?
No.
Yeah, that's not a good night. And I'm sure once he got the the hypnosis to remember, he was like, "Oh, that's why I didn't."
He's like, "Oh no, dude, that's what sucks about hypnosis is you have to relive it again." So like,
yeah, you definitely do.
He lived through it once, and then he got hypnosis, and he's just sitting in some therapist room, just like screaming because he's mentally being raped again.
Oh, poor guy. I mean, at least that's better than being rock hard watching yourself be having a giant like little floppy metal dildo put up your butthole.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, to each their own. Now there are rumors. I don't think he would. Now I this could be in the book. I haven't read the book since I was younger. I don't feel like this is something he would admit, but there are rumors that people found out that during this procedure, you know, there's a place up there. There's a G spot up there. And there are rumors that he fucking creamed his pants. Okay.
Just add insult to injury, huh?
And that they took samples of it. Like they would, like a dog at a vet, man. They just shoved something up his butt, jerked him off, and took his semen.
So do you think they jerked him off, or they just like prodded around until they found that, the old man button and just shot it off?
I think that's what happened. I think it was the man button, which sounds like a groovy time. I don't know what he was yelling about. So
I think it's the whole part where it gets forced in with no lube. I think that's really was it big?
It just seemed like, anything going in my ass is big, right?
Yes.
So like, I don't know what the diameter was, but it was probably enough to scream about. Like, but it was probably a scream of like pleasure and pain though. Like, cause he was probably nutting. He probably nutted, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. There is a thing. It was a post forever ago where it said, think about the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you in your life. And if you feel bad about it, he's like, remember that at one point I went to the doctors to get a prostate exam, and the minute he put his finger he nutted immediately and fell over and knocked over.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Poetic almost.
Oh, great, man. Great stuff. So, and I know we've been all having a haha good time with this man's unfortunate butthole experience, but I do need to point out that, and this is kind of jumping ahead just for a minute, when before his hypnotic regression, his butt hurt, right?
Yeah.
The next morning, he's like, what the fuck is, so he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him that he thought he was raped because it was so bad.
That's a pretty fair assessment. You wake up, no memory. Well, yeah, you fucking got Cardi B'd. You got roofied. Like, that's a pretty, I'd go to that before I thought I got abducted.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, guys, if you wake up in the woods and your butt hurts and you don't know where you were, get a drug kit done because you were probably roofied. All right.
Yep. Time to do some detective work.
Okay. So yes, he was screaming, "Oh no, don't put it in my butt," and they did. So it was in his butt, probably jizzed, probably took it as a sample. And then there was one last procedure. And this final procedure was just a blood sample they took from his finger.
Oh, fairly tame.
So it started like, I don't know what's worse, the needle going through my cranium into my brain or the butt thing. Both equally bad in different respects. And then they're just like, all right, champ, let me just get this blood sample. We'll send you on your way, you know?
Slapped his ass on the way out.
And it probably did.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that is kind of silly where it's like this really extreme. It's like, but they had a really nice, simple way to take blood. It's like, wow, couldn't you have figured out a simpler way to, excavate my asshole?
Why couldn't you just jerk me off?
Yeah, I can just do it like a fucking. At least I can have fun,
We don't all men on Earth don't come from their butts. Not all of them. Just jerk me off next time.
The aliens, they're trying to figure it out. I mean, like that. There was that other group where it's like they just send in like the one like alien that's like meant to look like a human woman, and they just like have sex with you.
Yeah. See, now that species got it. That was like, okay, this guy definitely wants to fuck. Let's just have him fuck one of our dudes. We'll give him space herpes. It's fine. At least he'll have a good time. Whitley did not have a good time.
Nah, this is the other side of that coin.
Yes, they're a bit primitive in their ways. Now, okay, that is what happened when it came to what actually happened on the abduction. But do you remember how I mentioned earlier that he was very paranoid about someone getting into his cabin the months leading up to this abduction?
Right, yeah.
Well, that was 100% the case, and I'll explain why. Because, Whitley was fucking stressed out, he was high-strung, and he was paranoid about somebody breaking in for those months, but he had no clue why. But that is, of course, until hypnosis helped him figure out what happened to make him act that way until that abduction night. So rewind a little bit to October 4th of that year, a couple months before the abduction. Whitley actually had an encounter that he did not remember until it was recovered through hypnosis.
Oh.
So he was sleeping in his bed in the cabin when all of a sudden he woke up and felt like there was something in the room. He felt that presence he would feel again in December.
Right.
Now, he was unable to move, but this time he was aware. So this is more of like a paralysis thing. So he was more aware of his surroundings. He wasn't lost in his own consciousness. So he was moving his eyes around trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like sleep paralysis right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he saw something walk over to him on his side of the bed. And again, it looked to be a gray alien. And the being had a metal, he describes it as a metal wand-like instrument in its hand, just like a little rod, and placed it right above Whitley's forehead, not touching it, but like maybe an inch away. And then it sent what he described to be like electricity into his head. And through this electricity, very vivid visions played in his head like a movie. Like this alien was like putting stuff into his head, basically.
So tampered with his like memories and shit.
Interesting that you bring that up, because it could be memories, but it also could be something else, and we'll see. So one of the visions was about his son being in danger, whether it was death or a kidnapping of sorts, but that wasn't the case right now. His son was fine for the moment. Another vision was of his father dying of a heart attack, which actually did happen previous to this, by the way.
Creepy.
And the final vision was like a post-apocalyptic version of Earth, like a movie of that playing in his head. Everything had been destroyed through either our neglect of Mother Nature and or the use of nukes and shit like that, like warfare.
Damn.
And then after that, the creature was gone. Now, this happened on October 4th, and he had no memory of it until this point in hypnosis.
Weird.
So that's why Whit was so goddamn paranoid up until his abduction in December, right? He knew that something, like his lizard brain knew that something had happened and that it would probably happen again, but he just couldn't fucking put his finger on it because, of course, they erased his memory of that night. So for months, that's why he was always checking the windows, checking the doors, always paranoid. He got that new security system. He would wake up in the middle of the night and check all that shit. That's why.
Yeah, so his mind didn't, his mental didn't remember it, but the body remembered it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Down he goes.
What the fuck?
Did you accidentally bite your cyanide-filled fake tooth?
Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have kept that in there, man.
Yeah, it's fucking bad move.
Oh, God, they'll never get me now, though.
Yeah. GG, man.
But that's a good way to put it. His body remembered, his mind didn't. I like that. All right, guys. So now let's get into the aftermath of this abduction. Because the abduction itself was pretty straightforward, kind of things we've seen before. But it's, it's the book that he wrote about it that kind of brought him up into popularity. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So naturally, after something like this happens to someone, it can, in my opinion, it can go one of two ways. The first is that they become like completely broken human beings and can't function again properly, and they spend all their time shit posting on X about their experiences, right?
Right. Yeah, that's more of the classic.
That's what I would do, right? I would just jump on 4chan and nobody would believe me on there, but I'd still yell about it.
And post every single day trying to find the one guy who does.
The other way this can go is more of a productive route, and that is the route that Whitley decided to take. And I use the word productive. I say it very nicely. That's my nice way of saying what I think is going on here.
Okay.
Now, he began looking for a community of people who had similar experiences to his, and he was able to do so. Now, you see, after his abduction, Whitley claims to have never been into aliens and all that. Like, he actually says in that interview I watched that he would have scoffed at those who claim to have experiences like this. But not anymore, because he went through it himself.
Crazy.
Now at this point, he surrounded himself with people he could confide in and talk to them about his experiences, and began doing a little bit of UFO and extraterrestrial research here and there. Now he is not afraid to call them aliens instead of visitors like before, when he was being an asshole in communion and stuff. And he was like, visitors, the creatures. No, they're fucking aliens, Whitley.
Yeah. Wow. What character development.
Right? I feel like he went through a whole arc for the wrong reasons.
Well, at least he's getting it right at some point.
Yes. Now, upon talking with all of these people, Whitley discovered that many of them had also had similar visions put into their heads, right? Like the personal, distressing visions about loved ones and the visions about our world being destroyed, usually by our own hand.
Right.
This led to those in the community to believe that the aliens had not meant to harm them, but that they primarily contacted these people to warn them of their personal futures, but mostly the future of our Earth as a whole and our environment.
Huh. So they're hippies. Right.
Now, that's all well and good and stuff. Probably could have done without the forced colonoscopy.
No consent, no, not even a cuddle or something.
Yeah, they didn't even give him roses after. It was just like a fucking, hey, let's get this guy off the worst way we can.
Oh, they were probably having fun with it.
Yeah. But you said hippie, and that's interesting. So yes, when it comes to people who claim to have contact with certain species of aliens, and not this type of contact normally, abduction stuff, but like people who can channel, people who can project and like meditate and talk with aliens, a lot of the times the things they give us are warnings about how we're treating our environment, how we're going down a path of nuclear war and we'll destroy ourselves. So it's quite common actually to hear from aliens that they're just a bunch of Woodstock going, Janis Joplin listening to hippies.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's actually kind of nice of them. They're like the hippies that are actually like making a difference instead of like, just getting hooked on heroin.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like Bob Dylan.
Right. Well, it's a big difference when you have a giant fucking spaceship and technology eons above the planet below you. Hippies did not have that. That's why, their movement was a little less substantial.
Yeah, that's why Woodstock's over, people, That's my favorite line, dude.
I was going to say, that's like your catchphrase almost.
But nowadays, Whitley does what he does best, and that is write. Like, he still writes. He's an interesting character now because he has become a full-forced, like, new ageist Catholic, but he's also a UFOlogist, kind of. He's a weird dude now. Like he's full Catholic, but he also writes books about how Jesus was like a super whatever. And then, but he also writes books about like UFOs and I don't know, man. He's like all over the place.
It sounds like he's a Catholic, but definitely has his own take on what Catholicism is. It sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and just to kind of like push that further, he's got his own website now called Unknown Country, where there's like blogs on there that are UFO related. But also he sells his like numerous books on there and also promotes his appearances on different podcasts and shit.
Wow. So he's active.
He's active. After this, I guess this abduction like apparently changed him, right? That's what he's trying to like give off. Do I think this is a cash grab? Fuck yeah. I think this is 100% a cash grab.
Absolutely. No, if you have some shit like that happened to you, like as traumatized, it's, he's turning his trauma into dollars, and power to him. I mean, I would do the same. I mean, it's not like he needed the money. It sounds like he was doing well enough as is.
That's what makes me, it's weird, man. Like, do I want to believe him, right? I want to believe almost all abductees about their experiences.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the way that he handled everything afterward with like the, clearly making some good money off of it. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. He treated it like, the vice president of an advertising company would do.
Oh, fuck.
Money.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's very good at it. It was his job. Like, and he said he rose the ranks real quick. So he definitely had a knack for it. And it's that story. Like I said, I kind of don't blame him. If I got abducted and had that good of a story, I'd peddle that shit to the ends of earth, get as much as you can out of it, which is, as we're seeing what was that one thing where it's the fucking, that Pleiadian lady and stuff like that. And she's just like, yeah, but it's like, you have to buy my book because if you don't, I won't be coming back. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, that's different. Yeah, that was definitely like, wow, man, she's really saying that, huh?
It's a scam with a capital S, for the love of God.
But I mean, that's it for Whitley Streiber. Like, I brushed over a lot of his, because like the abduction itself wasn't that long. It was everything surrounding the abduction that's interesting about him, and that made him a prominent, infamous. And I say infamous because a lot of people think he's full of shit, myself included. Like I said, I want to believe most abductees, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it's how he treated it, where it's like it's very easy to take somebody who's monetized what's happened to him, and then to the point where you're like, did it even really happen though, or is just is this just like a scheme that just went really well? Because also remember, he's a great writer too.
Yes, exactly, man. Because he could write it, he's imaginative. Damn, yeah, everything's kind of pointing at
cash grab, money,
fake. Look, I know people out there don't expect Nick to say an abduction was fake, but if any abduction is fake, okay, it's this one. Okay.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah, if somebody came to you, it's like, oh, did you hear about that abduction that ended up being totally fake? This would probably be the first story that popped up.
I was like, oh, Whitley Streiber finally got called out, huh?
They finally proved it, huh?
So he did just get raped. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's just covering it up because he was too embarrassed.
That's another theory, though. Not that actually he got raped, but that he had a homosexual encounter and wanted to cover it up.
Repressed it. He probably went out, and it was probably with a bunch of like weird looking dudes. That's why, it's the alien description.
Yeah, he went to the local the carnival in New York City, and there was like a midget and a tall Asian man, and he's like just in a robot. It's probably a fuck machine, and he just.
Well, yeah, almost like we said earlier, it's almost more believable that he got abducted by aliens than what might have actually happened, which was I got up with a bunch of circus freaks and I got anally probed and nutted, and then one of them stabbed my head.
Oh man, that would make a good book. But damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that kind of that angle of. I think something really just fucking horrible happened to him, but it was so outlandish, he was able to sort of twist it into a better story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or he's just covering it up, man. I don't know.
Who knows? Or it's all made up, and he's just making a fuck ton of money by jerking people along because, like you said, he's a storyteller. And yes, I've never thought about this before, and then suddenly I'm super. Of course he didn't think of it before, because he just thought of it 2 months ago, where he's like, oh, wait, hold on. I can make a fuck ton of money off of this.
And also, I should say, Whitley seems like the type of dude to like look up shit about himself and listen to it. So if you're listening to this, hey man, it was all a joke. So if you, I don't think that you had a homosexual encounter with like a carnival freaks. Okay.
That's right. We have to be clear, because he is a living person who is actively around. And like you said, listening to stuff probably about him. So,
yeah.
Oopsies,
whatever. This will get taken off YouTube also, because he's gonna strike it, and it's just like
cyberbullying.
So our YouTube channel is not going to be lasting very long, I think.
We're both we had this discussion where we predict enjoy it on you if you're a YouTube listener, enjoy it while you can, because we're backed up on uploading episodes because we are banned from uploading episodes for a little bit.
Yes. So that's why you guys haven't seen the last two on there. Hopefully by this Wednesday we could actually catch up, but there's no point. It's going to get taken down anyway. So
yeah, well, I think we have 2 more strikes before they take our channel down. So I don't even think the episodes were even that bad, but the fact that we talk about the Clintons and shit, like, that's a buzzword, and I just fucked this episode by saying it. So,
well, it's either that or Whitley Streiber came through and did not like what he heard.
Yep, he came in and we get a fucking cease and desist for defamation.
Dude, that would suck.
I'd be the good time to open the Patreon to help pay for the court bills.
yeah, because we're not taking it down.
Yep, nope. We got to stand our ground, and you may sooner than you think get those videos of us recording and jerking off.
Dude, could you?
It ain't gonna be cheap. I'll tell you that.
Could you imagine we stand our ground so long if they asked to take this down that we end up in court and we have to sit there in court while they play the whole episode of, and we just listen to us talking about how he got like wet surgical tubing shoved up his ass and
like laughing about it. Like, oh, did you like nut, man?
Oh, you gonna come? Oh, you gonna come?
We're both sitting there in like our suits and ties, just quietly looking at the ground. Oh, Jerry's gonna love us.
Oh man. So Whitley, if you're listening, sorry homie, it's a joke. Sorry about your butthole. All right, we do feel bad about that.
Yeah, regardless of what may or may not have happened, the butthole pain is nothing to kid about. That's no fun.
Right. And most of the things you've done for the UFO community has been pretty dope, so hey, I'll give you that much.
Yeah. And I guess that about does it too, huh? Except for
that's it. That's it, man.
Yeah. I mean, of course, typical update. Obviously, we're still working on Count Chocula episode. Today was a big work day, and obviously I blew it because I'm I think I'm still drunk. So we're working on that, kind of taking a little bit of a breather on it, but we'll be getting back to it soon. But thank you for listening, everybody. And if you are listening on iTunes, a 5-star rate and review would be fantastic. Spotify, you can click the follow button. We do have new episodes every single Wednesday. Instagram's at CEOTPK. YouTube is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Twitter is at CEOTPK1. Facebook, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind, where you can find all the above links. You can email us, ceotpk1@gmail.com. Discord is discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. If you want to help me and Nick take care of our court bills inevitably in the future, coffee, ko-fi.com/CEOTPK. It's like a tip jar. Don't feel the need, but it's there if you want to. But yeah, this is probably the shortest episode we've done in a very long time.
Yeah, and it kind of worked out too, because you feel like you're on the verge of death, and I'm stupid hungry, and I need a shower. I still need to I've sweated more in my basement doing this than I did working out. So,
and it's cold in that basement too, so that's saying something.
Yeah, I'm just a mess. You're a mess. We just need to get off of here. And I broke and recover.
Good job, man. You really proved your point there. We are professional podcasters.
That's right. Oh, quick announcement. I'm going to not be here next week. Right. Because I'm going to be reliving the Hangover movies in Vegas. So, you'll have Professor Tasker will be back in the building next weekend doing a solo. But I will talk to you all the following week.
Absolutely. So, Nick, you're going to be feeling like how I'm feeling today, probably all week.
For 3 days.
Ooh, Nice. So,
It's gonna
yeah,
be
you'll have to
awesome.
Give us the update. Oh yeah, we'll definitely have to give the update once you come back. But yeah, solo episode next week. It'll be another short one. You know, Nick and I are only human. You know, we sometimes need to we need to pump the brakes a little bit on ourselves.
That's right. That's right. But look, guys, whether you think Whitley Streiber is going to listen to this and laugh at himself, or cease and desist, the truth is out there.
You know, with the track record we're going, it's probably cease and desist because, yeah, you know, it's not. Oh, Jesus Christ. I am fucking falling apart, dude.
We're almost done, I think. Kind of.
I can make it through the show. I'm just, oh, man, not feeling great, but I'm good.
Okay.
Let's do this.